It's an early start this morning. Lydia and I are going to be heading down to the Royal Berkshire to the Purdey Shooting School. Really looking forward to heading down there today. I think we discovered Purdey possibly around about 3 or 4 years ago, and we just absolutely fell in love with their clothing line. You can see just behind me here, I've got, I believe this is called a Norfolk jacket, but this is one of Purdey's jackets. And I've also picked up a few other pieces from Purdey across the time, including this Lawrence jacket, which is the jacket that I use when we're walking the dogs. It's incredibly warm, it's very comfortable, it's got those like velour pockets up by the chest, so I absolutely love this. Got some gloves to match as well, which is what I'm going to be wearing today with my wellies. The estate that we're going to be heading to is situated on 65 acres, and we're obviously going to be going down there, probably learning a little bit more about the brand. I'm secretly hoping that they've got a little clothing section there so we can do a bit of shopping as well. But if you're not familiar, James Purdey and Sons are traditionally known as gun makers. They do incredible guns, like top of the range stuff. And so hopefully we'll also get the opportunity to have a go on some of their guns as well. But our cab is outside. I'm gonna quickly sort the dogs out and get everything sorted, ready for a day. I believe that we have a champagne lunch as well, which should be very nice. So as well as my wellies, I've also got some boots with me, and hence the 2 jackets as well. So anyway, we're going to hit the road and have a lovely day with Purdey. We've just arrived, and look at this rack of guns. Absolutely beautiful craftsmanship. So these guns will all be handmade to order. But today we're going to be learning about this collection of guns, which I guess I would describe as guns that are made to order as opposed to bespoke. If we walk through here, you'll see that there's a store, so I feel very satisfied because I can go shopping today. Literally have every single accessory, jacket that you could ever wish for, so I think I'm going to be spending a fortune in here today. Loving all of this. Lydia's just enjoying her morning coffee in front of the fire. Just had a little play around with the Leica. Really enjoying using this when I'm with lids. We finally got the case for it as well, by the way, so we now have this nice protective body for it, the strap. So we're going to be using that today. Looking forward to it. Good.
We are here today to basically celebrate and promote the launch of the new Purdey Sporter you see here. I'm not going to take up too much of your time now because you don't want to hear my voice, it's quite horrible. But today is all about fun. Ask any question you would like about this gun. I'm Director of Gun Sales, Andrew. My colleague Alistair works with me. Enjoy the day. I'll hand you over to Steve, who will talk to you about safety and the important facts of the day.
Thank you, Andrew. Morning, everybody. My name is Steve Turner. Along with myself, Pete Wilkins to my right-hand side, and Rob Ward, we're essentially entertaining out there on this shooting ground. So, plan of attack. What we've done, we split you up into 3 different groups. You'll all go out with one of us as an instructor. So for people that have a little bit more experience than others, we're going to start a little bit higher at the top end of the shooting ground, going to have some fun. And then for slightly more less experience, you'll be down the bottom end of the shooting ground, where we'll get you starting off, hit your first few plays out. Around about 11:15, we're going to nip back down in here. Hopefully it won't be too chilly out there, but it will be getting a bit cold. We'll nip you back down in here, sit by the fire for 5-10 minutes, grab a cup of tea or coffee. And about 11:30, we're going to go back out onto the shooting ground. We'll finish off a couple of stands in the competition element we've got to finish, where we're then about sort of 3/4 of the way up into the woodland on the left-hand side. We're all going to go out there as a big collective group and do a bit of a fun flush. Now, a couple of things just to run through with you all. So we are going out onto the shooting ground, so I need some PPE. Purdey baseball cap with some safety glasses and some earplugs. They are your 3 items of PPE I need you to have. If you've got your own, a bit like myself, lucky flat cap, or you've got a pair of shades in the car, or you wear spectacles, that's no problem. And the last bit, along with the baseball cap and the eyes, are some earplugs. If you've not got a set of ear defenders like myself, please come and grab a set of these. I now, believe it or not, have to explain to 10 of you how these things work. So inside the box, there's 2 foam earplugs. Roll them up into a mushroom shape, pop the skinny end into your ear, allow 10 to 15 seconds for it to expand out, and we should be good to go. Okay? If you're struggling, don't panic. There's a diagram on the back of the box. And if you're really struggling, we will be on the course. If anybody really doesn't want to wear a pair of these, before we wander out, speak to the lady on the second floor. We can give you a pair of normal ear defenders if you prefer to go with some normal ear defenders over the top. Okay? Right, we're going to do about 10 shots each, and then we'll swap over. Okay.
Okay.
Right, there we go, so that is your stance is very good. There, cheeks just off, that is absolutely perfect, love. Right there, both eyes wide open. Excellent. Yeah, give the hat a shimmy around and make sure you're happy. So, are you ready? Yeah, here we come. Pull. Watch it. Okay.
Woo!
And then we're good for number 2.
I can't believe you did the first one.
Right in 2.
Yeah, he's one of those people that just, he's good at everything.
You've already let go of the trigger.
Got the big boys. On the bottom of the pistol grip,
Yep.
the metal base, is that a Purdey signature thing, or is that quite done?
The grip.
Yeah. Is this something that's quite unique to...
I mean, we tend to finish the grips off like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes you'll see them in plastic or in wood, but
Yeah.
we always tend to.
You get it on more elaborate sort of high-end guns.
Yeah, okay.
So I'd like to say it was purely Purdey, but it isn't. It's you will get it on other best guns.
Other guns, yeah.
It's just that extra sort of touch.
Yeah, it's a nice detail. Yeah.
It is.
They look amazing. Are these guns all the same?
Just different caliber, 12, 20, 28.
Wow.
All the Sporter, the brand new Sporter. Originally launched in 2007. It was part made in Italy.
Okay.
3 years ago we took the decision to basically, for several reasons, to look at bringing it back and having it all made in the factory in Hammersmith in London. So it's now, along with all our other guns, we can now proudly say it's all completely made in Hammersmith, central London. It's a London gun. And as I always say, that's nothing against it being part made in Italy. It wasn't about that. It was,
no, I think that there's something really special about that when it's made.
I
in
think
the
so.
UK. Yeah, no, I completely agree.
When we relaunched it, so it's almost like Sporter Mark II in July. What people got really excited about was the fact that it was made in London. Even though we've added a lot of new innovations, it was all about it's made in London.
I think that is a really lovely touch.
Yeah.
Saying that.
Yeah, right.
You handled that very well.
Yeah, it looks
Never know
amazing.
your audience.
Yeah. A load of Italians getting upset. Yeah.
And this is the first model that's going to feature our new coating. So we've coated all the internal parts, which is a major breakthrough because it prevents rust.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
okay.
because we work to such fine tolerances.
Yeah.
Rust can be a real problem.
Yeah.
It's safe at the moment. Yes, at the moment it's pushed up. Right.
So Ali has just got 6 out of 6 on these clays, and he is now going to attempt the hardest clay on the field, and he's got to be 6 to 8 feet in front of this particular clay. So let's see if he can do it. In all honesty, Ali is good at everything. He's one of those people, so I am sure he will get it.
Is that bird or there? I don't want to see.
No, they're absolutely fine. They're out of range. Don't worry.
Oh!
Track it. You get a little bit further in front.
Was I too far in front?
No, you need to go more.
More?
Oh yes.
Okay, so we didn't get it first time. just warming up.
Track it.
I was too.
So your lead wasn't far enough ahead. Still got to go a bit more in front. Right, keep it in your shoulder. Go back up in your shoulder, Ali. I know it's not low. Anything in there. Just relax your arms, okay? This is going to be with you and I. Just to get you an idea. You ready?
Okay.
Pull. Bang.
Oh wow.
Oh yes.
That's quite.
Yeah, big gap. Okay. Right, let's load her up and let's give it a go. 2 more. It's just for a bit of fun. That's all it is.
Oh.
Watch it. Lead out.
close was that?
Just above him.
Above.
That was your clay. Your lead was perfect. You shot just
Okay,
above.
the distance was
a little bit lower on the line of the clay. Okay. Oh, one more. We'll give it one more go. Very hard go. So pull. Go through the, well, leave that. We'll get your whole one out. Pull. Okay. Cool. Track it through the bottom of the head.
Yes, well done.
A lot of help, but
Right. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Pull.
Pull.
Under. In front.
He's such a smarty pants.
Same again. Good. Pull. Underneath. Just ahead. Ready? Yeah. Pull. Follow. A little bit in front. Got in the bum.
Ooh.
Back we go. Let's have a look at the height. A little bit down in the barrels. Good. Here he comes. Just in front.
you did get it. That was very late.
Absolutely nailed it.
Wow.
Alright.
Well, it's quite impressive.
Don't think about your technique.
Good. Hips back, hips back. That's it. Brilliant. You ready?
Yeah.
Pull. That tiny bit ahead. Alright, don't worry. First time you've done it, we had a little look at the end of the gun that time. So here he comes. Pull. Look at the clay. Look at the clay. Now. You're going to argue. You're going to argument? We can have an argument. We can go some.
I felt like I was looking at the gun on the last two times.
Yeah, don't look at the gun.
No, sorry, the first two times, and then now I was like, oh, look at the clay, and I've been trying to look at the clay, and I'm missing.
Yeah, don't worry. Okay? Don't worry. I need you to miss. I can't help you if you don't miss. Right, hips back. That's it.
That's true.
There. Right, you ready? So, pull. Look at the clay, just in front and shoot.
Wow, that was good because that bounced. Yeah.
Just in front and shoot. Oh, it drives me wild. Not your fault, don't worry. Right, ready in here, sir? Yep. Yeah, ready to go?
They're somewhat easier than others for some people can't rabbits. Is that alright?
We never thought about it. 24. Ready in here, sir? We are. Right, ready on the end? Right, we ready, Nicholas? Yeah. Okay, team, here we go. Come in now. One up. Close up, safety forward, and there they are again.
In terms of the scores, the all-important scores on the doors, so the runner-up was Ed.
Well done, Ed.
Proper prizes and everything.
That's very good.
We've just finished off lunch, which was very lovely, and Lydia and I have taken the opportunity just before we get back in the car to travel home to do a little spot of shopping, because it means that we can try stuff on, and there's also so much here that I've not seen before.
Mr. Millen Gordon is on a mission. Oh, new steps, by the way. Obviously, coping stones are being changed because they don't match. Hannah Lummy modelling them for us. We have a big fat mousey moo down there. Oh my goodness, can you see it? That's the fat mousey moo just there. If you don't like mice, obviously turn away now. It's a little bit delayed. Oh my god, he's so fat. I've actually never seen one that big or fat. It's all your fault, I bet, Lumi. I bet you scared it down there. Uh-oh. Mr. Millen Gordon is doing God's work in saving the mouse. He knows you're coming. He's disappeared. Oh no! Mousey moo. Oh. Yay, well done! Oh, all those bugs moving. Well done, you're my hero. All of the leaves are falling at the moment in the garden, just out of nowhere, and it just looks a mess. But we do have gravel paths. How spectacular does that look? Roses have been planted. These are holes for our topiaries. I absolutely love topiary trees, so I'm so excited for these to go in. Lumi, stay away. This is not a game of cat and mouse.
Well, it's a new day, and I just wanted to quickly touch base on our time at the Royal Berkshire Shooting School with Purdey. It's a fantastic day. I didn't feel like I had an opportunity whilst we were there to really speak to the camera too much. We were so busy just doing each stand, and I was just really invested in trying to understand and learn more about the guns, because I have done clay pigeon shooting or clay target shooting many times before, but I've never really asked questions. I just go down there and I do my thing and then I leave. And I do enjoy it. I think it's a great way to kind of like just switch off and just focus on something that you can be a bit competitive with, both with yourself and with the people you're with. It just feels good. I do enjoy it. And I was asking Steve, our instructor, some questions about the gun, and he taught me some of the terminologies on what the parts of the gun are called. I'm not going to be able to recite them all off the top of my head, but of course you have the barrels, which you have an over and under or a side by side. Over and under is like the more modern style of guns, because some people will say that they're more accurate because you have a slightly thinner guideline that sort of guides you towards the target, as opposed to side by side, which is obviously thicker, so you've got a lot more metal in your view sight, which might make it harder for you to line up hitting your target. Possibly some other elements of the debate as well as to why one is more preferable. From my understanding, if you were to perhaps speak to some of the more aristocratic families, they would prefer a side-by-side, and a lot more of the sort of current and newer shooters will shoot up and over. Of course, you have the barrel, you've then got the pistol grip, which is the part of the gun that comes off the bottom of the barrels, and then on the top you have a comb, and then the main bulky handle that you see, that's called the stock. At the back you have the butt with the toe and a heel, and then of course you have the lever. You have a top lever which releases the barrels, and then the ejector. There's only one part that I can't remember the name of, and it's the bit that basically supports or keeps the barrels onto the gun, because without it you'll probably just blow the barrels off because it's that powerful. I think it might be something called like a foregrip, or something like a forelock or something. I'm not sure why four is coming into my head, but I know that the Americans in English have different terminologies for them. So if you know, you can write it in the comment section down below. It was just really fascinating learning about the different bores and how the spread of the pellets work. So I really enjoyed it. I found it quite educational. He was a fantastic instructor. So if you are in that area, if you're in Berkshire and you can get down to the shooting school, do book on. Request Steve. He's a top boy, he knows his stuff. So we had a lovely day, and they very kindly sent us a gift. They didn't send us a gift, they left these on the back of our chairs after our champagne lunch, which was also really lovely. We're actually with Tom Chamberlain, who is the chief editor of the Rake magazine, and if you're not familiar with the Rake magazine, fantastic publication, very much channeled towards the kind of like gentleman style. Tom also has a account which is focused on cigars. Again, very, very informative and educational chat with him as well. So it was a lovely afternoon. We were in great company. So on my way out, I did a spot of shopping. There wasn't the items in my size, so I placed an order of a Purdey Peacoat, which hopefully will be arriving soon, and when it does I'll share that with you. A gilet with the padded shoulders, again I'll share that when that comes, and I got some Le Chanel wellies. So as we were having lunch, like I said, they left this gift. My battery's about to die, so we might have to restart this, but let's open it up and see what's inside. Ooh, wow. Oh, lovely. Look at that. Got a little hip flask going on here, and it's also got my initials on top, AG. That is very cool. I think there's going to be a whiskey or two going into this. In fact, talking of whiskey, I've got something that arrived this morning that I'm going to show you as well, because it's so strange. This morning I was like, it's whiskey season. We're coming into the colder months. There's nothing nicer for me than sitting in front of a fire with a glass of whiskey. I've now got my Purdey hip flask, and what I'm just about to show you over there as well, which is possibly not actually whiskey, but it's from Macallan, so there's a good chance that it might have something whiskey related. This is absolutely beautiful. It's got a leather bound on it. Lots of love to the Purdey team. Just before we move on to my next discussion, which is all of this wood over here, the post lady delivered this morning. So Macallan are a Scotch whiskey maker, and this was sent out. So I have an invitation here. Okay. So I've got an invitation to have a one-to-one tasting session with the UK brand ambassador, and there isn't any details on here as to when or where. It just says that if you're interested, to sit down with Ara Masondi, then let them know. I certainly will. That is definitely something that I'm interested in doing. Oh, we've got another note here, another one. Crafted without compromise, these 3 distinct single malt whiskies are the ideal marriage of the classic Macallan style and the unmistakable sweetness of American and European oak casks, giving each liquid and unmatched flavour. We hope you enjoy the whiskies, the Macallan. It sounds like we've got 3 different whiskies going on in here, so let's take a look. And there you have it. These are the 3 new double cask whiskies from Macallan. So as it said, these are American and European sherry casks. So something that's very, very important for the colouring and the flavour with whiskies is the cask that it sits on. When whiskey is actually distilled originally, it comes out clear, and the colouring often comes through the cask. I'm not sure. I think there are some companies that probably do play around with the colour a little bit, maybe for consistency or for depth, but I know that from previously speaking with these guys, all of their colouring is very much from the cask that it sits in, and that is what will dictate the colour of it. So we also have a little booklet in here. So we're going to have the double cask tasting experience, and in this pack that I've got here, it says that this pack contains all the material that you need to discover the new range. So we've got a 12, 15 and 18 year old whiskey. So they've obviously done 3 different years. And in fact, talking about colouring, you can just see in that image alone, you can see that each bottle has got a very different colour to it. And that is just all part of the process when it sits within the cask. So we'll start with a 12 year. So the 12 year has honey, citrus and ginger as its most prominent notes. They say that the colour is Harvest Sun. It's got a creamy butterscotch hint of apple and toffee with orange, vanilla, custard and newly felled oak. The palate is honeyed, wood spiced and balanced with raisins and caramel, and its finish is warm, sweet and dry. The suggested pairing is Manchego cheese. I can get down with that one. And so it's also got a little chart on here as well that just shows you where the notes are and what you'd expect to taste. Oh, and on the back as well, it also says add your own personal notes. So I can actually try the whiskey and then write down my thoughts and what my experiences are for my future reference as well. So that's very cool. Next up, the 15 year. Okay, so the colour of this one they've called Golden Butterscotch. It's got dried fruits, toffee, vanilla, smooth oak and baked apple. Ooh, that sounds good. Balanced with notes of honey and chocolate. For the palate, sweet raisin and sultana builds with hints of vanilla, wood spice and citrus. And in the finish, you'll have a warm ginger turning into caramel and citrus. And it says that you'll have a lingering and creamy mouth feel. Its ABV is 43%, the last one was 40. And it says that the suggested pairing is dried apricots or dates. And then last but not least, the big boy, the 18 years, they're saying is amber honey in colour, and the nose picks out dried fruit, ginger, toffee, rich orange and hints of clove and nutmeg. And the palate picks up on rich raisins, sultanas with notes of caramel, vanilla and ginger, balanced by wood spices and zesty citrus. To finish, you have warm oak spice with ginger turning into a sweet orange. It's got an ABV of 43% and the suggested pairing is salted caramel, dark chocolate. So I look forward to giving these a go. I'm not sure if the camera is going to allow it to pick up, but this is just such a great example of how the cask affects the colour of the whiskey. So you've got the 12-year-old here because it's quite light, it's a little bit paler. 15 in the middle, and then as you get over to the 18, you can just see it really starts to darken up, it gets deeper, it gets richer. I don't personally have a preference. I'm not too fussed about the colour of whiskey. It's more about the flavour for me. It looks like I'm going to be doing a little one-to-one tasting session. Something else that I would really like to expand my knowledge on is whiskey, because I enjoy whiskey at time to time. Could I sit there and have an in-depth conversation with a whiskey connoisseur? Probably not. So it'd be quite nice to be able to talk on a level with people, and sounds like I have an opportunity, so we're going to take it. And as you can see, next up we've got a massive pile of wood. These are all of the samples that I've been ordering for my wardrobe upstairs. And as you can see, I've managed to acquire so much that we can just lay the floor. Only joking. We have, I've tried a few different companies, and all of the companies that I've spoke to and dealt with have been fantastic. Super easy process. You go online, you look at what you want, add them to your bag. It's free, there's no charge, and you get all of the offcuts from jobs that they've done previously. So we've got Luxury Flooring, which is the company that my office floor's from. And I ordered about 5 or 6 actually from these guys. So as you can see, I was kind of like starting to go towards a slightly darker sort of colour tone for my office. We're balancing very fine line between Lydia and I. Obviously Lydia wants to have the same floor as me, so we're just playing into that a little bit as well. So trying to find a bit of a balance. This was very nice, but possibly a little bit too warm. And then, so this is actually the flooring that I have in my office. This is called the Bibri Golden Distressed Engineered Oak, and it's 220mm in width, which I really like. A nice wide plank, I thought looked really nice. And then we had this sample here, which this was a strong contender. This is called the Loft Natural Oak Engineered Wood Flooring. The planks, obviously, as you can see, aren't as thick, but we thought that the detail and the texture of this was really nice, and it worked really nicely between Lydia and my wall colours. So this was a very strong contender. And so was this. The only reason why this one didn't take was because you probably can't see on the camera, but you can see the white chalky colour inside the grain. We felt like it just would have been too much when the whole floor was done. And so we were getting a bit stuck because we had gone online and we had ordered a load of samples, and there wasn't anything or any websites that really had us, and we were like, yes, this is it. And so Lydia did a post on Mill & Gordon Homes Instagram, which if you're not following over there, definitely go and check it out. We're doing so much at the moment in the garden. We'll start documenting all of the changes and renovations that are taking place. So back to the home account, Lydia asked everybody if they could make any suggestions for engineered wood flooring. There were so many fantastic suggestions that were sent forward. And in particular, Jack Evie had probably the most unique style. It was raw, it felt very different to a lot of the other flooring companies' sites, and I've now found out as well that they made to order. So we ordered 3 samples, and if I stitch them together, this sample here was called Cathedral Place. Oh, let's get that the right way around. And as you can see, it's got such a beautiful detail to it. Possibly too much, I'm not sure, but the colour of this was definitely what we were looking for. And something that we really liked was, as you can see the scratches that are going down the panels, it just looked like the floor had been there forever. Like, nobody would put a floor in with all of those scratches in it, but it certainly would look authentic. And so we ordered that, and we do like this, but I'll get to what we decided to go with in a second. And then the next one was Wallace Drive. Again, very nice, lots of detail on this, and you can see that there's lots of kind of discrepancies in the wood here, and we thought that this was very special as well. So this was a strong contender, but Lydia felt like it was possibly too dark. And then we found the happy medium. This is the floor that we're going to be going for. This is called High Clear, and it's got the nice wide thick plank. On the sample, I find this quite jarring. It looks like a coffee stain or something. But I tried to picture this as like an entire floor, and of course, because it is natural wood on top, you're never going to get this detail again. So it will just be essentially these sort of like dark patches of grain that will appear throughout the floor. And they also do this in mixed sizes. So this won't all just be wide, you'll get thin, medium and thick planks, which I quite like the idea of. We're kind of in a loft up there, and so it will give a little bit more of like an authentic feel to it with the mixed plank sizes. And so I placed the order for this yesterday, and they said that it will probably take a couple of weeks to arrive, which means as soon as the fitter is booked in, my wardrobe can start, and we'll get the ball rolling, and all of that room will be finished and completed before Christmas, which is fantastic because I'm very keen to get filming in there and really be happy with the space again and just inject a little bit of life into it. Once that room has been completed from a tradesman standpoint, I need to get a plumber in to move the radiator. I obviously need to get the floor fitter in to install this. I then have Andy coming to do some carpentry in that centre section, because that's now going to be an area where I can display clothing. So I'll have a shoe rack and then also a small shelf and a rail in there, and so he's going to fit that in some natural wood, which Hopefully it's going to look really nice. And then a tiny little bit of electrics. I'm just going to actually remove lights more than put lights in, because I'm not so keen on the cornice lighting anymore. It never really worked for me. And then we'll do the furnishing, which will be the fun bit. So we're probably going to get a couple of Chesterfield chairs in there, potentially a rolling centre island as well, which will be used to house some fragrances possibly, or some knits, or some pants and socks. We'll see. I still need to sort of like decide how things are going to be laid out, but until we get the furniture, I'm not going to worry too much about that. It's taken a long time to get to this point, but it's been a very, very busy summer, and I wouldn't change it. I'm happy to be patient and wait for this to get done. So the garden, like I said, is starting to come along really nicely. We're just now waiting for a lot of the third-party companies to come in, because we've got a lot of oak on order. There seems to be quite long lead times on that. And in particular my shed is going to be unreal. I cannot wait to share that with you. We were talking about that the other day, and it's probably going to be still a couple of months until that goes in, but when it goes in, I think it's going to transform. It's just going to really finish off this side of the house. The outdoor kitchen is being made as we speak, so it's all systems go. Very exciting stuff. Really, really pleased with how everything's been going. And I think this weekend, Lids and I are going to spend some time just doing a huge clear out. We're just going to clean that shed out, clean that greenhouse out, just get everything organised and tidied up, so when this space is finished and kind of like signed off, as it were, everything's in good order. So anyway, I've been sitting here for a very, very long time rambling. I'm going to tidy all this stuff up, and I've just seen something else I wanted to talk to you about as well. I'm going to keep you here forever. I finally ordered myself a couple of pairs of the cedarwood shoe trees. I'm probably going to use these in some of my more special shoes, my formal shoes. But I'll also use them in my get ready with me videos that I do over on TikTok as well, because I just think they look very smart. And it's amazing when you pick up a shoe with these in, they feel so weighty and heavy, but they just feel like really premium and nice. So yeah, I might start accumulating these over the years, but they are quite pricey. They're like 40 quid for a pair, and so I just got 2 pairs for now. The whole purpose of these, I think the wood actually plays a part in possibly like the moisture within the shoes. So if the shoes are wet, I think the wood can help, but they're not to stretch the fabric. So these aren't like expanders, but they do hold the shape of the shoe. So once you've worn a pair of shoes, especially if they're leather, you get these creases. When you're not wearing them, those creases can hold. So you can stick these in. They basically just help reform and reshape the shoe. They're essentially used to reduce the creases in leather shoes. If you know any other reason why these are used, let me know, but I just think they look smart. So another little non-essential addition to my shoe wardrobe. Well, it's time to shut up shop in the office. The house is feeling incredibly clean, which makes me very happy. And I'm just about to get busy doing our dinner. Is that a little Barkley head I see? Look at him on the stepper.
No, Daddy's coming. Oh.
You love the fire, don't you?
Daddy, I love you. I love you.
Happy chaps. You happy chaps?
Happy.
Yes. Snoodle. You look very funny from certain angles. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. You don't look funny. You don't look funny at all. You're absolutely normal. You know why he's getting excited?
Why?
He thinks food is
Oh,
coming.
it is dinner time, isn't it?
His feeder has arrived.
5 minutes.
Do you want some food? You know exactly what that word means, don't you? Come, sit, not so much, but food, oh yeah. Yeah. Food is well and truly cemented in the brain. This little pea brain of yours.
Not much longer of being a baby. Can't believe I'm not going to be a puppy mum anymore.
Okay, Porter. He loves his little tooth.
Yes, Marty Lowen.
Ah, look who it is.
Ah, Mrs. Meow.
Little meow. The whole family's in.
Meow. kisses, meow.
I'm going to get busy cooking dinner. Liz and I are then going to spend the evening in front of the fire. Tomorrow's Friday, so it's been a great week actually. I feel like the last 2 days have been my productive days. The rest of the week were a bit slower, but there's been so many questions and answers needed for all of the work that's been taking place. I just find it's been quite time consuming, but we are getting there and it's definitely going to be worth it at the end. So I'm going to sign this video off. I hope you have enjoyed it. Like I said, if you are ever thinking about going clay pigeon shooting, then make sure you do check out the Royal Berkshire Shooting School. They're fantastic down there. I hope you have a great rest of the week and I'll see you next Wednesday. Take care.